With this final lesson in the area of crew responsibilities, we will conclude the flight by examining the approach and landing requirements in accordance with EU OPS. Before commencing an approach to land, the commander must satisfy himself that, according to the information available to him, the weather at the aerodrome and the condition of the runway intended to be used should not prevent a safe approach, having regard to the performance information contained in the operations manual. The commander, or the pilot to whom conduct of the flight has been delegated, may commence a precision instrument approach using ILS or MLS, regardless of the reported runway visual range, RVR, or meteorological visibility. However, the approach must not be continued beyond the outer marker, or an equivalent position established by using, for example, distance measuring equipment, DME, if the reported RVR or visibility is less than the applicable minima. If RVR is not available, values may be derived by converting the reported meteorological visibility by using the table displayed on screen. To convert visibility to RVR, take the reported meteorological visibility and multiply it by the factor shown. This table can be found in the operations manual. If, after passing the outer marker, or equivalent, on a precision approach, the reported RVR or meteorological visibility then falls below the applicable minima, the approach may be continued to decision height, DH, or decision altitude, DA. The approach may be continued below decision height or decision altitude, and the landing may be completed, provided that the required visual reference for the runway is established at the DH or DA, and is maintained to touchdown. If not, then the pilot must carry out a missed approach from the DH/DA. Having considered the situation for a precision approach, we must now look at the equivalent for a non-precision approach. Non-precision approach aids consist of VOR-DME, VOR and NDB, which are dealt with fully in the radio navigation syllabus. This type of approach aid does not contain any vertical guidance, such as glide path information. Once again, the approach will be influenced by the meteorological visibility, or RVR, available at the time. The outer marker, or equivalent, referred to in the precision approach, is replaced by a height of 1,000 feet above aerodrome elevation for a non-precision approach. The pilot can commence a non-precision approach, regardless of the reported meteorological visibility, or RVR, but the approach must not be continued below 1,000 feet above the aerodrome elevation if the reported visibility is less than the applicable minima. If the reported visibility allows a descent below 1,000 feet, but subsequently reduces to below minima, further descent must be limited on reaching the minimum descent height or altitude, MDH or A, for that approach. The approach can now be continued at the MDH or A until reaching the missed approach point, MAP. On reaching the MAP, the landing may be completed, provided that the required visual reference is established and maintained to touchdown. Our final topic concerns occurrences that may have affected the flight during any phase of it. First, we will examine the appropriate terminology, much of which you should be familiar with by now. As you will see, the terms increase in severity. Click on each term to reveal specific information. Occurrences must generally be reported to the relevant authority within 72 hours of the event. However, the operator must notify the state of the operator of an accident or serious incident as quickly as possible. If the occurrence involves air traffic services, either directly or through a resolution advisory from the ACAS, the commander must inform the relevant air traffic services unit as soon as possible. As far as other specific circumstances are concerned, here are the rules. If a bird strike causes substantial damage or the loss or malfunction of an essential service, it must be reported. Incidents or accidents with dangerous goods should be reported within 72 hours of the event taking place. An immediate report should be made after an act of unlawful interference occurs. If potentially hazardous conditions are met in flight, such as flying through a cloud of volcanic ash, the appropriate air traffic service unit must be informed as quickly as possible. This concludes the lesson on the crew's, and especially the commander's, responsibilities.